Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Spoken Word. It is sports, unscripted. I'm your host, T.Love. Right next to me, Mr. Derek Williams. To my left, Mr. Lance Twitwell. We are here to talk about the NBA playoffs. We have some very interesting games that happened these past few days, so let's go right into it. Last night, the Heat lost at home against the Pacers. Again, the Pacers. They went ahead and lost at home by 3 points. Fourth quarter, LeBron James did not come out the whole second half, so that could have an effect on him. And Mario Chalmers, very questionable move to the last shot. Now, what do you guys think about that? Was that good coaching? Was that bad coaching? What happened in that game? That's the main question I have. What happened in that game? Let's start with you this time, Lawrence.
I mean, guys, the last call, obviously, you usually are going to assume it's going to go to the best playmaker on the court on the team, and I think we all could agree that Mario Chalmers is not that guy. Even though he is a good, he's a good spot up shooter, he's a really good 3-point shooter in the clutch. That's all, aside of all that. Fact is, it's got to go to the best playmaker on the team or one of the best playmakers on the team. Fortunately for the Heat, they have two of those. But Spoelstra, for some reason, I even tweeted right before they put the game, they started chalking it up and the timeout was done. I started wondering, I wonder who this is going to go to, and I thought it was going to go to Wade. I thought initially, okay, they're going to go to the guy that has been known to do it more often. They're going to figure out a way to get it in LeBron's hand. He's going to dish it to Wade, but it didn't even go to either one of the guys. And to me, I'm just like, there's a real problem with that, and I don't understand what Spoelstra was really thinking. I'm not trying to blame Spoelstra for the loss, because the players are the ones that put themselves in that position.
Right.
But Spoelstra did make some questionable moves of starting Turry off over Joel Anthony, or it just some things. Not that saying Joel Anthony's great, but there were some things I saw in his coaching, and Derek's a coach, so I'm not going to sit here with my expertise of coaching, but just from a guy that's watched basketball his entire life, there were some things I picked up on real quick that I didn't really understand from Spoelstra's moves.
Derek, what do you think about the coaching?
What coaching? I've said it from day one. This Heat team will not win a championship under Eric Spoelstra for those reasons. You got to get the ball to your best players in major situations and down the stretch. This is no knock on Mario Chalmers, great guy, but he's not getting paid to take last-second shots like that, especially when he has to create off the dribble like that. And that goes back to not having Bosh there, because if Bosh is there, you can actually run a high pick and roll to Bosh, and LeBron can high pick and roll screen that. When Bosh can screen that, LeBron can roll, and you can go pick and pop there, or LeBron can get to the lane. But now, you're not sending Joel Anthony up because he's not going to pick and pop. Hazard doesn't want it, pick and pop. So it just shows you, man, not having Bosh, it just shows you it's going to hurt them. And why not give LeBron the ball at the top of the key and just let him be the facilitator? Why? He didn't even touch the ball on that last play. How is this the guy, the best player on the team, and he doesn't even touch the ball? The last time he didn't touch the ball was in New York. In that one game, was it game 4? They lost. He didn't touch the ball late in the game last night, they lost. Eric Spoelstra, if you see this, get the guy the ball.
And see, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Like, Spoelstra might come out and say, no, I have full confidence in these guys. I have full confidence LeBron can get the job done. But his body language or his reputation with the plays he draws up isn't showing me that. So that's my problem, is that he'd come out and say it with his words, but you got to show us that you do really trust LeBron, that he's going to
he's probably the only coach in the league that probably would not run a play for his MVP.
3-time MVP.
A 3-time MVP doesn't touch the ball.
Well, the question I have is, why didn't he come out the whole second half? LeBron James was on the floor for the last 24 minutes of the game. That has a word on the guy.
I think Eric panicked. I think he panicked. I don't think he feels really confident that he can win ball games with LeBron sitting on the bench. But he's going to have to get LeBron some rest.
Yeah.
I mean, just take him out for a few minutes at the beginning of the fourth quarter, like Mike Brown does. He's adapted what Phil does with Kobe, is always out at the start of the second quarter, always out at the start of the fourth quarter. Give him 2 or 3 minute break, get him back in there. But to play him, continue to play him, there's going to be a game 3. And there's going to be a game 4.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, LeBron's going to continue. If he's tired now, he's going to be tired then.
And I think that Spoelstra is relying on the fact that LeBron's still a fairly young player, but that's beside the point, because we've even seen guys like Derrick Rose, who's even younger than LeBron James, break down. Not just get tired, his body started breaking down. So I would say that Spoelstra is doing the best he can with as far as like getting LeBron some rest. But you got to think about this. There's really no depth on that team. There's no answers when your team goes 9 for 38. That's not LeBron and Wade. You're not going to really win games, guys.
That's one of the worst benches that we have in basketball.
Well, we can talk about
At
that.
least they're playing that. At least they're playing that way. Yeah.
A little bit later. So who wins Game 3? Real quick predictions.
Pacers.
Pacers at home, going back to Indiana.
No, I think the Heat win this game. I think that after they saw I think there is going to be a little animosity and it's going to be a little more chippy than this. And we saw some chippiness between Granger and LeBron. Right. I think it's going to get a little more like that. That Pacer crowd's going to get into it. But I think that the Heat took it disrespectfully, like Derrick Rose did earlier this year when the Pacers started celebrating on their court. I think they're going to take it disrespectfully. Dwayne Wade mentioned it. I think it's going to happen.
Pacers by 10.
Oh, Spurs lead the series against the LA Clippers 1-0. Any adjustments for the Clippers? What do they need to do to win Game 2 in San Antonio?
Hit some shots.
Hit some shots.
Just hit some shots. The Clippers are just fine. I don't make a lot out of these Game 1s, Game 1s usually goes to the home team anyway, most 90% of the time. It's Game 2 is when you got to go back. A great team's going to go back, look at Game 1 and make adjustments. You'll find out more about the series in Game 2 than you will in Game 1. Most of the time, the home team comes out in Game 1 and hits them in the mouth anyway.
So who wins Game 2? Clippers. Spurs, Game 2.
Well, guys, I think that what the Clippers need to do is they got to get better. I mean, let's be real. they don't have the roster that can beat the Spurs in a 7-game series. I mean, they are good at certain positions. I think the Parker and Paul situation is fine. I think that Blake Griffin does have obviously a lot more athletic ability than Tim Duncan, but Tim Duncan is a better basketball player. So I think
fundamental key.
Right, he's 36 years old, still playing. He's 27. So it's incredible how the guy's being able to maintain his game. But I'm sorry, guys. I said it the other day. I'm gonna say it again. I don't see the Clippers making it out of 5 games. I think that the Spurs are going to win in 5, and I just think that there's a much better team. You look at their bench. Yeah, Nick Young's played good. Foy, Mo Williams hit some decent shots here and there. But if you look at the team, look at the Spurs in general, you have 3 guys that have been playing together for over 10 years that have won 3 championships together. These guys are still playing at the peak of their careers, except Tim Duncan a little bit lower. The fact is, this Spurs team is ready to win. Like I said, they're there at that point. The Clippers are not there yet. I'm sorry, but they're just not going to. Spurs.
I got Spurs in Game 2.
Yeah.
All right. The other night we had the 76ers still won in Boston against the Boston Celtics. So what happened with that situation? I mean, a lot of teams are losing home Game 2. What's going on with that? How can the 76ers, now they're going back to Philly. Now who wins Game 3 in Philly?
Boston's lucky they're not down 0-2 in this series. They easily should have won, could have lost Game 1. But, some inexperience of the 76ers being kind of inexperienced down the stretch, kind of let that one get away.
Right.
But they showed me a little maturity coming back and staying with what they like to do and ran their stuff and got that win in Game 2, which was big. They're going back home now. They're feeling good. They're feeling really good. Right. Boston, be careful. Because I'm telling you, Philadelphia is going to scare you. I'm telling you, they're going to scare the hell out of Boston.
So wins Game 3 in Philly.
Philly wins Game 3.
So they go 2-1.
I want to say Philly because I like what this team's doing. I love what Doug Collins has done with a team that doesn't really have a true star, playing against a team that naturally has 3.5 stars. So I would say that Philly could definitely win this game because that crowd's going to love it. They're ready to see this team win. They're going to be involved early. I see Philadelphia playing with a lot of heart, a lot of intensity. But I think if Ray Allen can make any impact in this game, I think if he can, if his ankle holds up, I think if Paul Pierce, his MCL is, because I don't really believe his MCL is really that hurt. I think that he kind of over-dramatizes things sometimes.
He's from Kansas.
Yeah, hey, let's stop with that. But no, I think the Celtics are going to win a road game. Like I said, I want to see the Sixers win this game, but I think Phil. I mean, like I told you guys, Boston has proven me wrong every time, so I'm not going to go against them right now.
You said 3.5 stars. Was that a jab at Rondo?
Absolutely.
Oh, very interesting.
I love the guy. He's dang good.
Rondo, he's point guard continues.
I'm sorry, Rich Greenway. I apologize.
He's got to be the only elite guard that gets jabbed.
Okay, here, real quick. You can't tell me a guy is in the top 5 of his position when he might be the worst shooter at his position in the entire league of starting players.
That doesn't mean you're not elite.
Okay,
He's
but
a walking
scoring might be the most important
Jason
thing in the
Kidd
NBA.
was one of the worst shooting point guards the game
He's
had ever
third.
seen for
He's
a
third in
while.
all time, and he's third all time in 3-point shots.
Yeah, now. But when
I'm
he
just
first
saying.
came in the league, he couldn't throw any ocean shit on the boat.
Yeah, but Rondo isn't just coming to the league. He's almost 27 years
Yeah,
old.
what I'm saying.
He's been in the league for 5 years.
Rondo's an elite point guard with a championship ring.
All right, now final topic. OKC blew out the Lakers at home, the opening game in Oklahoma by 29 points. Main question everyone has in their mind is simply this: what happened? Derek, start with you. You are Mr. Lakers. What happened?
It's simple.
Is it Mike Brown? Was it his fault, or was it the bench of Lakers? A combination of both? What do you
Well,
think?
if you're a coach, you got to take some responsibility in this. It just goes along with the territory. That's what they pay you to do, make adjustments. I mean, that's what coaching is all about. But the players got to take some responsibility in this too. Guarding the pick and roll and going up and hedging was terrible. That was one of the most terrible defensive efforts I've ever seen. Guys, you're in the NBA. You're professionals. Figure the pick and roll out. They pay you millions of dollars.
That's true.
The bench. The bench was the deciding factor.
Right.
The starters played well for the Lakers, I thought. I mean, we wasn't that far off from what the Thunder did as far as their starting five. The bench, where I was scored by 30 points, we lost by 30 points. It's simple.
Yeah.
LA bench.
Yeah.
Hello, come play. There's a shit going on.
Yeah.
Kobe
What do you
needs
think?
help.
Guys, the Lakers, as simple as this, the Lakers did not get in a rhythm because the Thunder were running them. They couldn't catch up. That's what happened. The Lakers were trying to maintain and keep the game close by half so that way they could readjust in the second half. But the Thunder weren't allowing them to do that because when James Harden comes into the game and you got a crowd that blows up and,
Right.
and you can't hear anything. Trust me, I had people I knew that were at the stadium that night and they said it was unbelievable. When you have all that stuff going, all that intensity, all that pressure, and not to mention Kobe said himself he doesn't really even know who he can truly rely on except Ron Artest. To me, it's like you don't really know what you're getting from the Lakers night in and night out. And during the season, the Lakers had the worst scoring bench in the entire NBA. So more than likely, they're going to let you down more than they're going to help you out. So I'm going to say the Thunder are going to win this game. Basically, what happened, like I said, they just ran. The Thunder just
I
ran.
saw some problems.